You're welcome. To the barber shop. You're welcome. To the barber shop. Come on, baby, won't you let me in? Barbershop Podcast, episode number 250, coming to you from Boxo Studio in Hamilton, Ontario, in the shadow of the great Hamilton Mountain. This musical city, with so much to offer, gives forth once more on this, the 250th show, the 250th night. Pretty much concurrent, day to day.
Is that the sesquicentennial?
Is that what it's called? Sesquicentennial.
I know that is a
show.
thing. I remember it from school.
Well,
that's what we're calling it.
Sesquicentennial episode. Remember, if you want to do a podcast, the goal is to get to 10 shows. That's what we did. And we kept going like Thelma and Louise. Me and Ryan grabbed hands right over the edge. And it was deep. We're still going 250 shows later. It's all good. We really mean that. It's all good. Musical, so much fun, so much history. And Gary Greenland's there hanging out with Ryan Cannon. Things are smoking in the, except not in the studio. There's no smoking. It's the only place.
It looks like
in this place that,
not.
We do not allow smoking where money has been spent because, we want things to sound good, not be all sticky and icky. And, maybe that's a good band name, but that's for another day. Tonight, it's cool. It's a sesquicentennial show with some Easy Lemon. Gotta like it. Ryan and I were in a great band called Captain Easy. We always were partial to that. I've carried some gravitas in the band naming world. It is tough to name a band. This is a good band name, and with it, a good band. Make no mistake about it. We have Jake Franachek and, of course, Olivia Brown and Matthew Policino, who together form some sort of sonic semblance of all of their personalities, put together with all of their experiences coming out in a sonic expression, unique, artistic. And it's probably a big reason why you guys all got into music. I already know a bit of your story because your old man's a music freak and your mother's a musical genius and your brother plays and you play. But I'm going to find out about these guys first, Olivia. So tell me, Jake, what was your indoctrination into music? Do you come from a musical place or was that where you ran to in life?
Well, at my house, we listened to a lot of music and a lot of good music. My parents have a very good taste in music. And at a really young age, I was exposed to a lot of like jazz, which is different than anything any of my friends' parents were listening to. And I had a really embarrassing story. In grade 4, I told somebody that my favorite music was jazz, and then I got made fun of a lot because I just moved to a new school. But after that, I started listening to a lot of other stuff because it was way too nerdy to listen to jazz. But anyway, my parents don't play, but are very enthusiastic about music.
Yeah, they like music, they supported it, and they didn't care if your kid was artistic or not.
Yeah, and they bought me a guitar.
He's like, we will actually buy you a guitar. You get the amp next year. Show me that you care enough. Play for a year without an amp.
Actually.
It's like, really, that's what goes on, you know? It's like, and now being a parent, I can see why, right? You don't want to give it all away at once. Mm-hmm. And I've told it a couple times on this show, but it's true. Myself as well, love jazz. My first was probably grade 4 or 5. I got an AM radio, no FM. It was Consumers Distributing, a little red one. And I lived in Fort Erie, so we could pull a lot of Buffalo stations. And I remember jazz. I liked, there was no cool. What was cool? It was all brand new at that age. So you liked what you liked. You didn't know what you weren't allowed to like yet because you were too young. And I also, still to this day, I pick a mandolin or something. There's always a lick inside you that I swear it comes from something that I heard way back when, over those airways. Crazy. All right, Matthew, how did you hook up with these two?
Well, I know Jake because we're from the same hometown. We both come from Bolton, Ontario. We used to hang out there, just hanging out.
Were you a drummer back then?
Yeah, we never really played back then, but you know, we kind of all just hung out and just coincidentally we all played. And then I met Olivia. We went to Mohawk College, so I met her in school.
You take music? You
Yeah.
The jazz program up there?
Yeah, Olivia and I were in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that something, were you involved in that too?
No, I'm not from Hamilton actually, and I didn't go to Mohawk.
Did you take post-secondary
Yeah, I
music?
studied music at York
right.
in Toronto.
Cool. All right. So you have to, obviously, if you're going to hang around with musicians, they have to be schooled musicians. You can't just hang around with your regular knuckle-dragging troglodytean Hamiltonian musical entity. What was cooking in your head, or were you approached? Who approached who? Where did this trio come together?
Well, this started, I think, it was like a little over a year ago. I think we got our first show, it was like last July, but this wasn't the same formation that it started with. Like we had another guitar player in the past, and then we were playing with him for about a year, and then eventually, you know, just we ended up switching and we got Jake in the band. So yeah, we've been playing with Jake for maybe a few months now, I think since May, and things have been going all right. We've
Did the writing technique change? Does it change with the personnel? Like, how do you go about it? Go ahead, Olivia, let the girl talk. I know men, go ahead and talk. So how do you write? That'll be a brand new question. How does this band approach writing?
Well, so far, we've all just been bringing in songs that we've written, but we're starting to workshop them a bit more.
Cool.
And potentially, like, write together.
Yeah.
So, yeah. When we started the band, we really just wanted a gig.
Yeah.
And we were still in Hamilton because we just graduated Mohawk. So we're like, well, you can't just have a gig with bass and drums.
You got to
We
get
need a
some
guitar
personality in there, right?
So we found our other friend from school plays guitar, so he's playing with us. Then he wanted to play different stuff.
Yeah.
Or we just want to play all kinds of things, and he wanted to play like maybe one or two things. So
it was nice.
Here we are.
So have you guys settled on a trio? Is you like the feel of this, or you're still open to?
Oh, they want to kick me out for sure.
But if someone came in and said, "Man, I play, I'm playing the vibraphone. Could I sit in with you?" And it could become like, how do you see yourself? Like, what do you?
that's true.
Yeah, like as far as writing, do we have original songs?
Yeah, well, yeah, we do have originals, and we've been playing, we have this regular gig at this place, Zyla's, which is
James Street.
Yeah, James Street North. Yeah. And it's pretty neat there because, typically like a lot of bands playing original music, they'll kind of share a bill and play, a night with a couple other bands and just play one set. But there, it's just only one band and we're playing the whole night, so we're doing 3 sets. So it was pretty cool because that was like a little opportunity for us to just get out songs, right? Because like I was saying, most shows we're only playing one set, but now we have I think the past gig or like 2 gigs ago that we played there, we ended up doing the whole night of originals. We have enough originals now to do.
Which used to be what you'd have to do, when you were working, and that was a full-time gig, and that was what you did. You were a professional musician. You went to dinner clubs. You went places where you played at half volume, the same thing that you play at full volume if they're facing the stage or not facing the stage. So tasty and with energy, because you guys are coming out of the gates. You got something to prove. Let's give the people a little taste of what we're talking about and kick off the music segment. What are we going to play first?
It's called I Don't Talk to Strangers. Yeah.
Anything you want to tell us about it?
Sure.
No, we'll just let the lyrics explain it.
Yeah, it's pretty much, this was supposed to be an assignment for school, and then I finished the song, and I was like, oh, I can't hand this in. It's too long.
Oh, too long.
And then I was like...
I thought Mohawk owned it once you had turned it in.
I was like, damn it, what am I going to do with this song? So then we were at a gig, and we're like, oh, we need more songs. I was like, perfect, we can play this song.
Play my homework, let's do it.
Yeah, and I know, my mom, she's a singer, and she sings this song, which I think is pretty funny. because she really likes it. And for me, I'm just like, oh, we need something to play.
Well, we're going to hear your rendition of it. So, cool.
Kind of like, I like hers, but I think we got a good rendition going.
I bet you do.
So,
I think the world is going to have it. It's going to be on the interweb forever. Here on Barbershop Podcast, we've got ourselves some Easy Lemon on barbershoppodcast.com.
Don't talk to strangers, don't like to speak. Wait, screws got my vice and my way away. Don't talk to strangers, don't like to be heard. Wait, screws got my vice and I think we should have a word. I am so careful, never to feel this way. Don't distract me, put me down and save me. I am so nervous, I need you to stay. But how can I tell you not to go away? Don't talk to strangers, don't like to speak. Way too close, got my voice in my yeah, I feel weak. Don't talk to strangers, I don't like to speak. I feel kinda weak when I talk to strangers. I don't like to be hurt. Way too close, now we in on that. We should have a word. Man, so careful, don't make me feel this way. How can I tell you not to go away? I am so nervous, I need you to stay. How can I tell you not to go away? When don't talk to strangers, don't like to be hurt. We the girls got my voice in my. We should have word.
Skiddly. Wow, you gotta like it. I like it here. Barbershop Podcast. It is an interesting blend. It is real. And the fact that it kind of comes from, your happy place. I think anyone who really gets into, the sound that you are pushing, as it were, really enjoys it because it takes them to their happy place. Those performances I mean, there used to be so much glitter and pageantry and glamour kind of attached to. There was a respect that was paid to the major players and the champions and the Denzians of jazz, and smoky rooms and long stairs and interesting, intelligent folk. Seems that our world really isn't too much about that these days. So what are you doing? Like, do you think about it too much? Do you think that maybe you're on the edge of something, or you're an anachronism, or you just play it because this is what you're meant to do?
Well, I think it's interesting that you said it sounds like it's coming from a happy place, and that song is extremely happy. But like, we try to, I think generally as a band we try to be fun and like easy going.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like a funny band. We write a lot of funny lyrics and try to be like funny and like fun.
But I'll tell you that they feel the positivity. If I'm a venue owner, you're the kind of people I want to play in my place. It's going to be like a nice smell in from your bakery and your grocery store. It's going to make people want to stay and enjoy themselves. So quite often it is a wham bam, thank you ma'am. It is a sword affair. It is rock and roll punk. It is a message, loud and messy. But yours is subtle yet just as significant, just as strong. And I'm glad that, I hope that you continue to find a market. People who enjoy what you do. Just keep flogging it. There's a natural kind of gift to it, and you've managed to capture some of it. You got some recordings for us. We like playing them here, Barbershop Podcast, because they're on the interweb forever. So this would be cool when your old fuddy-duddies going back oh, you should take a look when I was a wee whippersnapper on Barbershop Podcast. Look at me. I had me hair. All right, this first one is called Don't Look at Me. Well, that's what we just...
I write a lot of songs that start with the word don't.
But don't.
Yeah.
But it's like there's going to be a time when she's going to run out of don'ts.
Not today, though.
No, it's going to be do's. So this is a recording. Is it a video or a recording?
This is a recording.
Recording. It's cool. All right.
Yeah.
So you're going to get to hear this. You're going to get to see our cool soundcraft and the logo of one of our great sponsors as we Don't Look at Me with some Easy Lemon on barbershoppodcast.com.
Empty room by my head. You don't look at me. Don't look at me anymore. You don't look at me. You don't look at me. You don't know what you're looking for, baby. I don't wanna look at you anymore. You don't look at me. You don't look at me anymore. You don't look at me. You don't look at me. But you don't know what you're looking for, baby. I don't wanna look at you, baby. I don't wanna look at you, oh, baby. I don't wanna look at you anymore.
Gotta love the blues, the granddaddy of all great music in this here land, and the jazz giving the birth to the blues giving the birth to the rock and the roll. We do love the rock and the roll. And this here, Hammer Town, you must have so many different musical influences. Do you listen to this fuddy-duddy music in your spare time, or do you have any dirty, guilty pleasures music?
I only listen to Shania Twain.
Is it true? There were rumors.
Yeah.
Won't lie.
No? What are some of your other things you like, you know? No? Is it really like that? You like
Well, I think we all like everything pretty much.
because the music seems to be that, a combination, but you're sticking to the, you've got the jazz and the blues, but what are the other cornerstones you're putting in there? You put any country western swing? You put any, what are some of the other cornerstones of what you're doing musically?
Like of what the band does?
Yeah. I mean, what are some of the other influences other than jazz and blues?
Like I think like for this band, like to me is very much like a traditional kind of bluesy soul like trio. Like like we're as a trio too. We're like I feel like we're kind of limited. Like we've kind of created like a vibe that works. And like I feel kind of like personally like kind of limited to playing in that style. Like, and I want to branch more. And we play other stuff, especially when we play at Zyla's, like because we were doing 3 sets. We branch out to like jazz fusion, and then we do like some stuff that's all, like some iTunes that are kind of almost metal. And like we really, when we have a long set where we can play whatever we want, we branch out to a lot of different styles.
Yeah, it's like anything. As the evening unwinds, it just kind of takes care of itself. And this is what, when you go up for the live music experience, people, you have to understand that it does kind of take on a life of its own. And if you go out feeling crappy, that's the best time, because you'll feel good by the end of the night. We'll prove it. We're going to play another live one. What are you going to do for us next?
Burrito slap.
Burrito slap.
Yeah. Jake wrote this song.
I could tell you all about it. I haven't even heard it yet. It's going to be great. I'm not even going to ask you about it. I just want to hear it. It's Burrito Slap.
man.
It's Easy Lemon, and it's barbershoppodcast.com. It sounds good because the band's good, and it sounds good because it's at Boxo Studio. I can hear the mix. They can't. They have to, they have to trust. But oh my God, Boxo Studio. You need something recorded. You need some video. You need some writing. You need something to do with the music business. Get a hold of us here at Boxo Studio. That's what we do all the time. Heart and soul, brother, sister. So when we're talking about, got one question. Why a precision, not a jazz bass? Why? I thought you'd be a natural. You'd have to play a jazz bass.
Well, I used to have a jazz bass, but I sold it to Jake.
Yeah.
Also, I like this bass because it's punchy.
Yeah, it does.
It's really nice.
And for the sound, it's really nice because I was noticing, and there has to be, when you're in like I am long enough, you want to keep a joy and a lightness and an optimism about music, but not look at every song like a butcher looks at a cow, right? And it's really easy to do. And I wonder, as soon as I like something, I immediately want to know, why do I like it? And I go through a checklist, And your bass playing is quite musical, and you have a feel.
Thanks.
It's like I see a lot of people when you feel that this person may have at times difficulty grasping to express yourself, but when you put your fingers on an instrument, there is a level of brilliance beyond what people are used to seeing, right? And you show it without even trying. It's a part of what you do and how you do it. It's brilliant. And even working, as you were like working up and down the neck, and you must notice it because you're playing in these, you're only as good as they are, right? And when she comes down and grabs like a meaty chunk and goes down the scale, and it's like carving a place for you to play on, and it's like when I hear that, I love it. I love that kind of like somebody. We always have designers and engineers fighting over something because each has an ideal that doesn't quite fit in the other's world. And when you play, it must be kind of a bit of the same sense, right? Where it's like I know physically what capable of what we're doing, but I also want to. There has to be an emotional exchange in what you're doing. You have to be more than background music because it's pretty easy with what you're playing to fall into that, to be something that just drones on in the background. But you absolutely have something that's beyond that. And I certainly hope you pursue that and, chew in with your writing. There's no such thing as bad writing. There's just better writing than other writing. We're going to hear another tune now. This is a tune called No. It's not about looking at anyone, but it's a one-word title.
Yeah.
Where you, let's find out. With a K.
Yeah.
No.
It's actually supposed to not have a K for a while, but then somebody wrote down our songs and they spelled it like K-N-O-W, and we're like, oh, that makes no sense, or that makes more sense, because the reason we called it N-O in the beginning was because it didn't have a name.
Perfect.
It was like no, yeah.
I love it. And there's so many great songs that have stories exactly like that. This is a beautiful piece of art. It's live. It's original. And so barbershoppodcast.com.
And how about you tell me a story? Tell me all about your plans for glory. I have so much to tell you. There is nothing to say, nothing that interesting anyway. Won't you tell me another of your serious jokes? Tell me all about how I've been asleep since I awoke and wandering through fields of righteousness where nothing makes me move quite like your empty cage. I don't have to tell you twice. I know very well you won't take my advice. I don't have to tell you twice. I know very well the day is followed by a night.
All right, that was a song called No, K-N-O-W. The band, if you're digging it, is Easy Lemon. And I'm going to ask you guys if people are listening and said, you know, I like that. I like that. I want to search the interweb and find some more music that should inspire such feelings. I want each of you to name someone that is worthwhile for someone to go investigate musically on the great YouTube Musical University. I'll start with you.
Well, one group that I would recommend checking out is the Soul Jazz Orchestra from Ottawa, which is an Afrobeat ensemble. And we're actually opening for them in Hamilton at the St. Hollywood on the
November 18th.
On November 18th. But
this
that's
Saturday.
We play as the backing band for a rapper, Tariq, Mother Tarika.
Yeah.
And we do a mix of like, our set includes a mix of Afrobeat and hip hop. But anyway, we're opening for Soul Jazz Orchestra, which is really big for us because we're huge fans of like a fairly accomplished Canadian Afrobeat ensemble.
Yes.
And that's definitely music worth checking out.
For sure. Thank you. And local too. You go ahead.
Don't know.
Don't know anybody. It could be someone who inspired you when you were like a bit younger. Yeah, just anyone. Yeah, it doesn't have to be someone current who just is from Canada who came out in the last 6 months, but just somebody jazz-wise who is like this person. If you get into them, you will go down a wonderful rabbit hole.
Wow, this isn't really jazz, but something that I heard that kind of like blew my mind a bit was the band Can from Germany. I found them on YouTube.
And how do you spell it?
C-A-N.
Wonderful.
And I found a song called Paper House, and I was just like clicking random things. And then that was like, I guess, my rabbit hole, because I just listened to all their things. And I really like that band because it's like heavily improvised, but it's not. You wouldn't classify that as like jazz.
Yeah.
But it's very like psychedelic, but they like lots of different things.
It pulled you in, right? And it's great when you can't put your finger exactly on why. But I don't know. I just loved it and I wanted more.
yeah, this is like great textures and
Yeah.
ideas.
All right. Well, right now I kind of have two in mind. Can I say them both?
Yeah.
Or, all right. Well, one isn't really jazz, but it's this band called Jungle that my friend showed me them. We were just like driving in the car one day, just like we were going for like quite a long drive, and just like I'm rummaging through the CDs, and he's like, "Oh, well, we could put on this or this," and I'm just like, "This one," and just pick a random one, and it's this band Jungle, and it's really cool. It's kind of this like disco revival thing, but it's like got a mix of like R&B and soul in it as well, and it's really cool. One thing that they really do that I find really cool is that they have like 3 or 4 vocalists, and like every vocal line, like the whole thing is like sung in unison. So there's like 4 people singing the same thing at once, and it's like a really cool blend. It makes a really nice sound, and then like the band sounds really good. Like I think their album is just produced, like it's 2 main guys that produced it, but then I found like live performances of them, and it just sounds exactly like the recording, even though like they programmed the recording. It's like a really tight band, sounds really good. And they have like music videos on YouTube that are like really unique as well. They have like all these people doing all like dancing, and it's like almost like a theatrical kind of thing. It's really cool. So that's one thing. And then another thing is there's like when I started music school, there's like this one album that I kind of got hooked on, and it's like Smoking at the Half Note by Wes Montgomery. And I listened to this like every day for like years, and I was like playing a gig the other day with like a couple of friends, and I guess like one of my friends was talking about the record, and I was like, oh, I love that record. And then I saw it on his phone, and it had like 13 tracks on it or 12 tracks. And anyway, I guess for this whole time I've only been listening to like the A side of this record, thinking that was the whole thing and thinking it was the best thing in the world. And then yeah, so that just blew my mind, because I was like, I love that record, and there's a whole side of it I haven't even heard for this whole time.
Yeah, amazing.
So now I'm gonna have to go back to that and check that out and just have my mind melt again.
Yeah, Wes Montgomery, definitely someone you should check out there if you're just dabbling in jazz. What a master. All right, you're gonna play another one for us. What's next up?
Okay, this song's called Long Time.
Long Time. You get your money's worth here at Barbershop Podcast. We've got some Easy Lemon, Long Time at barbershoppodcast.com.
Well, fast Monday, you get away so fast. When I want to make you last, you waste my time. Got to keep the things I find, keep my pride, lose my mind. Then I wonder why. Been a long time. I know that's not true. Guess what, I don't feel bad for you. Waiting all day, waiting all night for you to treat me right. on my face. I woke up a few hours too late. Can I get my story straight? Until I don't understand the way to eat the man left on my plate. It's been a long time. No, that's not true. Been a long time. Guess what? I don't feel bad for you.
Trust her. She don't feel bad for you because you done it wrong, because every great song is about that, right? There's some right, there's some wrong, there's someone who done some wrong, there's someone who needs some justification, there's someone who needs some retribution, there's all sorts of... That's life, right? Inside of a song is all the great things, all the scary things, and all the wonderful things about life. I want to give a great shout out to our great friends over at H&G Entertainer Services. If you're entertaining and providing services, you may need somebody to help you, and these people do that. When you have a busy life in music, quite often you need an extra set of hands. H&G Services can help. You know, they're not agents, they're not managers, but they assist in the busy lifestyle, contacting venues, scheduling, booking, social media, and trust me, taxes, bookkeeping. They do our taxes, they do our bookkeeping, and we've never been arrested. So if that happens, you know they got to be good, right? Trust me. So check them out. There's their number. There's their email, H&G Entertainer Services. Do it. And it is a bit of a tough grind in music, right? Going in and pursuing it as a post-secondary option. Going in, I know I took broadcast journalism at Mohawk, you know, and foolishly thought that was maybe slightly more, you know, bankable than music, you know.
Yeah.
What a fool was I, you know. They're both in the same thing where it is what you make it. Going into it, I mean, I have a hard time believing there's still people going and being told or understanding that they can make a career at music. Like, unless you're a teacher at music or you are like absolutely sacrificing your life. It's like being a prize fighter or being, you know, an HL player or something like that. Like, that exists up there. And I am working full time here at 52 years old to try to help a lot more people make $26,000 or $19,000 or something that's a livable wage as a musician. That should be. These are the top 1% of the people who do what they do. They provide so much, and it is it is shameful how poorly musicians are treated. Having said that, that'll get you nothing. You know, there'll be no whining. There's no boo-hoo prize or anything like that. Going into it, you know what you're doing. There has to be a passion. There has to be an understanding. Well, how do you pursue your music? Is it, you know, some of the older guys come in here and it's like their fishing boat, or this is like their motorcycle. They said, I got to spend some money out of what I do during the rest of my life to support the music because I believe it's going somewhere. Are you still hooked on the fact that this is this your life course, or is this a part of your life? How much are you into the music? And I'm curious because you both went to school for it, and quite a good number of people on this show have gone through music courses, but I've never asked anyone, you know, did you go in it to just become the best musician you could, or did you go in it because you were going to make a living at music?
Like, I actually didn't, like, going in, it's what I wanted to study. I wanted to go to university, so I wanted to study music. Like, I didn't actually expect to make a career of it, but now it's the only thing I want to do, and I do want to have a career that's a mixture of teaching, playing, and if all went well, doing some work recording and composing.
Yeah, I think it's important that you keep your eyes and ears open and understand there's going to be an opportunity that may knock on your door tomorrow you had no idea would be there. How about you, Olivia? What do you think about life and money and music and how that ties together?
Well, it's kind of, one thing that's difficult is when you're okay with not having a lot of money, but everyone around you seems to think that you should have that. So they kind of pressure you to work and get jobs, and then you kind of get a little bit obsessed with it. Like, I quit my serving job a few months ago. I was pretty much working like every day of the week because I also teach and then I gig. And it was pretty bad. Like, it wasn't very healthy because it basically like smothered music. It was good because it helped pay for music, but I can see, like, looking at what my future will probably be, it will be like random bursts of me doing some random job and then going back to music. Like, I don't think I could teach every day of the week either because I'm too, like, bored. Yeah. You know,
it's like that really good lover or a really good boy, but just is not stable enough to live with, but you keep going back to every once in a while because sex is so good. All right. What about you? What's your relationship with music as far as it being, you know, how much of it is it going to be your, you know, what you make your stake and claim on?
Well, ideally all of it, I guess.
Yeah.
That would be the goal, especially if that'd be sustainable. Yeah, and like, you know, like I'm not going to be making like, you know, I'm not going to be a millionaire doing this, but I also don't want to be. Like, you know, it's not my goal with doing it. I just do it because I enjoy it. And I'm happy that, you know, I get paid for it, you know, so that's always a good thing. And yeah, just playing music's fun, and the more situations I could be in to do that and grow, the better.
It is changing, so it's important that whoever shepherds the music industry into the next era understands, you know, the old system does not work. It is such a different world. That music, you know, be compensated. I don't think that musicians, you know, we've all gotten checks from Spotify, and it's pretty interesting to get a 35-page single line invoice of all your songs got paid to make $50, right? And it's crazy. The haystack is huge. The needle is a bit bigger, not probably as big as it should be. I think you can still pay musicians. I'm glad that we still have good musicians going out putting original music, but then you have to be creative, right? You're business people now. You are doing things that other people perhaps did before. You're looking into publishing and other deals with other media sources, and music, if you choose to make it, you know, what you carry will sustain you. But boy, oh boy, I believe like anything, when it's a secondary option, it's not going to be the thing that sustains you. And for however good this is, I think you guys are great. I think you really got something that sounds real, and it could probably cross over between a few different genres and a few different groups of people. And that's always important when something isn't so stuffy, isn't so easily classified. It's nice that you have something familiar but something brand new at the same time. All right, what are we going to do? We're going to do, I guess, one more recorded tune. It's called Whose Fault Is That? And we don't even have to ask. We know ahead of time, right, whose fault it is, right?
Jake's
fault.
It's always Jake's fault. Yeah.
It is.
Easy Lemon. Whose fault is that? BarbershopPodcast.com. There's a lesson in life, and it is that if you can survive until tomorrow, there's a new lesson to be learned. And quite often that lesson will lead to another lesson. But it means you have to go another day. I mean it, because we get bummed out. It's a shitty life. It's a shitty world sometimes, and people, they don't like it. They want to leave, and so many people, great friends of mine, I've lost to suicide, and people should know that no matter how shitty times are, they get better. They do. And anyone who's lived any kind of life knows there's so many times I thought the corner and the ceiling and the walls and the floor had dropped out and closed in, and yet dawns another day. Something else happens. So music is one of those things. It changes. The musicians change. It's like being a teacher. Your kindergarten kids, you get older. Those kids are the same age every year. They carry that same beautiful vitality or silliness with them. And music, it's in all of us. If we all played the same songs, no one would listen to music anymore. But we all make new music, even if it's out of music that existed, like an artist who takes pieces of wood and scraps of fabric, make something. That's what we do. That's what real music is. That is what art is. That's what our mission here is on Barbershop Podcast. Please go out and support music. If you are already a supporter of music, it's not good enough that you go out, get your stupid neighbor, who just doesn't do anything, who complains about how boring her life is. Say, let's go out and see a fucking show. It's a Wednesday night. I know. There's music every night of the week. There is. Make an effort. All right, guys. Going to play one more before we say goodnight. What are you going to do for us?
We're going to play the bong song.
You're going to play the bong song. All right. This is Easy Lemon. This is the bong song. And this is barbershoppodcast.com.
Illiterate, getting sick of reading, not getting what I want to the point that I'm needing, getting cold at night, I can't get heating, I'm probably just cold from my heart retreating, never work hard right, it's taking quite a beating, my mind's fed up, says I'm packing up and leaving, it's fine with me, he's kinda misleading, this air in my head makes it hard breathing, words a bit too hard to handle, fall from my lips like wax from a candle, swing off of bars like streamers and handles, and stick to my feet like rocks in my sandals, slow walking, hard rocking, smooth talking, did you say this and that, just saying this and that, but you don't mean it. Slow walking, hard rocking, smooth talking, did you say this and that, just saying this and that, but you don't mean it. So many pieces to choose and use from, lose from. I will make out to be more than what I grew from, what I come from, what I knew from, what I love from, what I struck from, what I flew from. The truth is, I'm just a 6-day liar. When the weekends I preach like the choir, 4 parts from Methodist, I insist. It's battle for this spirit, these troops must enlist. Keep high, counterpoint with the bass, middle voice in a line, keep the beat in place. Watch the face, my hands moving in space. Peace be with you and make all fall with grace. I hear they stone the wicked. I seen a wicked get thrown out, but you back up. About time you were overthrown. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm close to sing about our music. Wants to love us, it just can't afford a ring. Stone walking, high rocking, smooth talking, just saying this and just saying this and that, but you don't mean it. Stone walking, high rocking, smooth talking, just saying this and that, just saying this and that, but you don't mean.
might just be me. If you are what you eat what you read? I think my expression needs more inflection. Second thought, I think that I need more discretion to see how you think. Let me think like you see, like if I am what I smoke, does that make me a tree? Stuck in my ways, waving wind through my leaves. If I kicked off my roots, would have crashed like these. Damn up my truth, cause I'm so damn proud. If I am out, I breathe. Would that make me a cloud? Shifting, drifting, colors and waves. A bruise in my belly, you in my shade.
Skiddly wow. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Music is in you. Music is in me. It's in all of us. There's a different kind of music. And sharing your music is one of the great things about humanity, about knowing about someone's life, about someone's culture, someone's love, lusts. It's all tied into the great musical experience. It is the most evolved of all the art forms, the combination of the word and the feeling and the Teslean movements of particles upon vibratory sacks of whatever. We're all bags of water, and we ain't nothing until the sound waves hit us, and then we become truly alive. Be alive. Love music. Thanks, guys, for coming on. Easy Lemon for Ryan Cannon and Gary Greenland. I'm Kevin Barber. Join us next week. BarbershopPodcast.com.
Needs